Hi, this is Yani Novak. How are you? Some important information that I worked out 10 years ago. It's a theory of mine that a lot of people think isn't right, but I believe it is. I don't believe it's an asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, or any event like that. I believe it was the fact that they ate all the trees, and the trees are the thing that keep the whole planet's atmosphere alive. And I believe they became plague proportion, ate all the trees, got so big, so many, ate all the trees. Therefore, their methane and lack of trees created a greenhouse effect, which started erupting the volcanoes. And once those volcanoes started to smoke, that smoke made more greenhouse gas, which made more volcanoes, which made more smoke, and that turned it into a real hothouse. And that got so hot that it heated up the crust and heated up all the volcanoes, and those volcanoes turned into super volcanoes, and also mega underground volcanic structures that collapsed and imploded like Krakatoa, and just launched all their ash into the atmosphere and created a nuclear winter. And that created the ice age that killed the dinosaurs completely. So they starved to death first, and then what happened was an ice age. So I believe humans are on the same track. We're destroying all the forest, and we're becoming a plague, and we're actually killing, making a greenhouse effect, and heating up the earth. Now this is what happened. I think happened with the dinosaurs. Now the only thing that's going to stop that is trees, because I think trees fixed up the planet after the dinosaurs, and I think trees can fix up the planet now before we get a volcanic winter, and an ice age. So let's just hope that we can get enough trees planted in enough time. I think we've got 5 to 10 years to get enough trees in there to start balancing things out, so it doesn't lead to a chain reaction which sets off these volcanoes. Because you'll notice there's more and more volcanic action, tsunamis, lots of tsunamis, lots of volcanoes going off. If you have a look at the history, when I was a kid, there was none of that action. There was none of that volcanic activity. So they're definitely heating up, and once we heat them up too much, and they start pouring out too much smoke, like the one at Iceland poured out heaps of smoke, you get them all doing that, and it's just going to increase the greenhouse effect thousands and thousands of fold over, and it's just going to they'll all start erupting because they all start heating up, and then bang, it gets to a point where it heats up so much that the big volcanoes erupt and put really dark fucking ash. Oh, pardon the French. I mean, not French, the language. Um, uh, yeah, they really push out all the ash up into the upper atmosphere, and it blankets the atmosphere so much that the greenhouse effect is stopped, but it creates a nuclear winter. And while the ash is settling, it might take 50 years or whatever it takes for the ash to settle out of the upper atmosphere. It's nuclear winter, so everything freezes. So we're going to be in a lot of trouble. The human race is going to be in a lot of trouble. First of all, it'll make flooding because of the heat and melting the icebergs. So all the coastal lines will be all flooded out, and everyone will be scrambling to get land and new agricultural land high up and start doing that. But while they're scrambling to do that, they don't realise that there's going to be a nuclear winter coming, and you've got to go underground or into bunkers that have got 20 years worth of food. So, or you live in a tropical place that doesn't get affected by it. But we don't know how the Earth's going to spin, and where the nuclear winters are going to really affect the most. We just don't know. It could change differently to what the dinosaurs did. The dinosaurs did it probably over a slower period than we're doing it. But we are reversing it. There's lots of countries that come on board, and they're planting 1 billion trees. New Zealand, China, Africa, India, And I think there's another Asian country, and there's one South American country that I think is planning a bee in. If we all pitch in and plant a billion trees, each country that can afford it and can do it, we will stop the ice age effect, the volcanic ice age effect. And that's the only thing that's going to save our planet. And then we can advance into space travel, I believe. Then it'll be like, okay, we've outsmarted our plague proportion, not like the dinosaurs, and then we'll become a real smart people. I hope. I'm fighting for it. I have been for the last 10 years. So, yeah, hope you listened. Didn't sound too far out there. But yeah, it wasn't an asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. It was the fact that they ate all the trees. And the trees are the things that fixed up the atmosphere after the dinosaurs. So, it's trees. No algae, no man-made chemtrails or filter systems. It's got to be the ecosystem of the trees. It's just too complex not to be. We can't make it. We can't outsmart that. I think the world has realised that, and hopefully this inspires some people to do some talks and get some scientific research on it, because it's just a theory of mine, which I've got lots of, and I'll release them as time goes by. Yeah, and then we fix that up. Then we're off to explore space. But we're not going to get off this planet until we can look after her. Alright, this is Yani Novak, over and out.